Chapter 39. The cognizance of God by the Saturnites. More respect than love. Knowledge of God's incarnation on earth. How do the Saturnites know that their form is the image of the Great Spirit? They know because the Great Spirit himself has revealed himself to them many times. And there is rarely a family elder who has not seen the Great Spirit at least once. Therefore, they know God as a perfect human being. Therefore, the highest of all principles of the teachings of the Great Spirit is as follows. God, who is the Great Spirit, is the most perfect human being of all. He has hands and feet like we have. He has a body like we have, and his head resembles ours. But he does not labour with his hands, and he does not walk with his feet. Instead, all his infinite might lies in his will. And with the incomprehensible energy of his wisdom, he creates and guides all things. And since the Saturnites have the proper concept of me, that is why they recognize themselves much more easily and much sooner. And they are fully aware in their spirit that they are not fleeting images, but eternally remaining images in the spirit of the One after whom they were formed and created. Do the inhabitants of Saturn love the Great Spirit? Yes, they do. But their love consists mostly of immense respect or awe, rather than an endeavour to get closer and closer to the Great Spirit, so as eventually to become completely one with him. They also know very well, and are informed about it by the spirits, that the Great Spirit, on a small celestial body close to the sun, became a human being with flesh and blood, and that the human beings on that celestial body failed to realize who he was, and that he was physically killed by them. All of this they know very well. However, they have great difficulties in understanding how it was possible that these human beings failed to recognize him. And they question the spirits that come to them as to what the people on this celestial body are doing now, and if they still have not recognized the Great Spirit. When they receive mostly a no to these questions, they become quite sad and pray often and ardently in their temples that the people of such a highly blessed celestial body may recognize, just for once, the One who bestowed upon them such a blessing. Whereas when the Saturnites just think in the slightest about his greatness, they begin to tremble throughout. After holding their breath for a considerable length of time, they say with very strong words, "Oh, if we would have been honoured with this blessing! If the Great Spirit would have clothed himself on our planet with our flesh and blood, truly we would shine more than 1,000 stars on top of each other." That is how the Saturnites express themselves when they hear something about the earth. They have a great yearning to see the earth. This cannot be achieved in physical form, but there is hardly a spirit of the Saturnites who does not visit the earth as soon as he has discarded his physical shell. But since such a spirit cannot see the material, he views the spiritual earth, and through the correspondences, he can see the material world from the spiritual world. Once he begins to recognize the human beings on earth, he becomes very sad and soon leaves this celestial body. In due course, when we discuss the religion of the Saturnites, we shall learn more. But for now, we shall return to some of the political constitutions.